Next, we'll talk about the advanced charting tools available to you on MyFertilityCharts.com. There are 3 tools that we'll discuss. The first are chart overlays, followed by chart comparisons, and then finally the chart library. All 3 of these features are accessible under the Charting Links category from the main menu. The individual page links are highlighted here in blue. Starting off with the chart overlays. A chart overlay allows you to compare your temperature data to the temperature data of other users, or perhaps even compare your own temperature data from one cycle to your own temperature data from another cycle. First, I'll explain how you can access other users' temperature data so that you can overlay your temperature data against that from other users if you so choose. To do this, the first thing you're going to have to do is find the other user's chart that you're interested in overlaying. You can do this by using the chart library, which we'll discuss shortly, to find that chart, or you can also use the My Friends Charts link. This will also be discussed later in the presentation. In either case, you'll be able to view that user's chart through one of these mechanisms. Once you have that chart up on the screen and you decide that you're interested in doing a chart overlay with it, you can click on the Plot Temperatures Data Against Other Cycles down in the lower right corner. When you do this, it will add this user cycle to your list of available overlays that you can choose from. You'll see what I mean coming up on the next slides. So when you go to the overlay slide or the overlay page on the site, you'll see this page here. You will also be taken here if you do use that link that we just discussed on the prior slide, namely that link down here in the lower right corner, the Plot Temperature Data Against Other Cycles. When you get here, you'll find that you can choose up to 9 cycles to overlay the temperature data. To pick these, use the drop-down box and select the cycles of interest. You'll notice when you use the drop-down box that you'll be able to choose among your own cycles, which will include all recorded cycles that you've specified in the MyFertilityCharts system, and then also other user cycles. These are other cycles from other users that you've selected using the procedure that we just described. If you don't have anything appearing down here, you need to first go find that other user cycle that you're interested in and use that link, and that will add that user's chart to your list of available charts to pick from down here. The next step is to set the available options. So you can define how you want your overlay to be configured. Most notably, you can pick what you want to align, whether it be start dates, ovulation dates, and what type of temperature data you want to overlay. You can overlay traditional temperature data, basal body temperature readings, or you can also even overlay the gap temperatures. Lastly, you'll use the Generate Overlay button at the bottom, and this will produce an overlay. An example of a resulting overlay is shown here on this slide. This overlay was chosen to align the ovulation dates. So at the bottom, the numbering scheme is used and centered around ovulation. So day 0 corresponds to the day of ovulation itself, and then the number of days past ovulation is shown to the right as a positive number, and days that precede ovulation are negative numbers going off to the left. At the bottom, you'll notice a color legend. In this overlay, you'll see that there's 3 different temperature plots shown in 3 different colors. To understand which temperature plot, which color corresponds to each individual cycle you've chosen, you can look down at this legend to see. If you're interested in viewing the full chart, you can also use these links down here to quickly pull up the full chart for a specific temperature plot that's being shown. The next feature we'll talk about are chart comparisons. Chart comparisons allow you to look at 2 charts side by side. You can view the entire chart and not just the temperature data, which is the case with overlays. The first step is to select the cycle. Once you get to this page, you'll see a drop-down box very similar to what we've just talked about with the overlays. You'll use this to pick a cycle that you want to chart. The next step will be to pick a second cycle. So if you scroll further down the page, you'll see that there's a second option to pick a second cycle. You'll go ahead and pick that. The last thing that you need to do are set display options. Once you set the display options, you can go ahead and push the Update Charts button, and this will cause both of these charts to be updated. This is an example of two charts which are being compared in this way. You can scroll up and down this page to view the two different charts, or you can also use the Switch to View Charts button, which appears immediately above each chart. This allows you to quickly skip back and forth between the two charts on the page for comparison's sake. You'll notice that the chart comparisons show the entire chart and allow you to compare all the fields on the chart and not just the temperature data. Lastly, we're going to talk about the chart library. The chart library is a way for you to find cycles or charts from other users in the system. There are two types of searches that you can do. The first is to find cycles that are similar to a specific cycle that you've recorded. To do this, you'll use the automated search criteria, which will appear at the top of the chart library page. The only information you have to specify is a specific cycle that you're interested in matching. You'll use the drop-down box, pick one of your cycles you're interested in, and then pick push the Find Cycles Like This One button. This will cause a search to be kicked off that will try to match the individual and very specific symptoms that you've been recording and the overall characteristics of the cycle that you've specified against other cycles in the chart library. Your other option is to do a fully custom search. To do this, you'll scroll a little bit further down on the page and you'll see this customized search criteria. You can go down and fill out these various fields to specify what type of cycle you're looking for. Then use the Search Chart Library button at the bottom to do your search. Be careful not to specify too many fields, or you might get too specific and you may find that no charts match in the system. If you want to start over, you can use the Reset Choices button to clear all these fields, and then you can go back through and pick the ones that are important to you.